The Gaerne SG-12 and the Alpinestars Tech 7, both very popular premium boots that are worn by some of the best riders in the world. But the question is, which one is best for you? We're going to answer that question in today's verses. All right, everyone, thanks for checking in. So we have another versus video for you. Today we've got the SG-12 from Gaerne and the Tech 7 from Alpinestars. These are two very popular premium boots. These are boots that I've ridden in personally. I've spent a lot of time in these. And today we're gonna go through and give you my personal feedback. I'm not gonna just sit here and give you bullet points off the product page. I wanna let you know what my experience has been with each of these. We're gonna compare them in different categories from price, fit, construction, durability, break-in period, just to give you as much information as possible to help you make a good decision, know which one is gonna be best for you. Now, if the SG-12 has been around for a pretty long time, Gaerne, they are known for their very high quality boots. They're from Italy, and one thing that Gaerne really prides themselves on is that they make their boots out of their own factories right out of Italy. So the quality control on these is second to none. You've got riders like Malcolm Stewart, Justin Brayton, who are wearing the SG-12. Now with the Tech 7, the Tech 7 is not going to be the premium option in the Alpinestars lineup. It's going to be the younger brother to the Tech 10. However, there's a lot of top level riders. Josh Hill is one that comes to mind right away that still wear the Tech 7. So I consider it a premium option because you have top level riders that are wearing it. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna talk about each of these, we're gonna break them down to help you make a good decision. So let's start off with price real quick. For the SG-12, you're gonna be about $475 full retail. For the Tech 7, you're about $370. So there is that price gap that you'd wanna think about. Now when we talk about fit, and before I get into this too much, I wanna point out that we have our fit guarantee. No matter what boot you buy from us at Rocky Mountain, if you're not happy with how they fit, you can send it back in brand new unused condition, and we'll give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange for either the same boot in a different size or a completely different boot, just to make sure you get the size and the fit that you are looking for. But we'll start out with the Tech 7 first. Now the Tech 7 has a reputation for being super comfortable, and they're right. Like I said, I've ridden in both of these. And for me, the Tech 7 with the step-in comfort, it's one of the best that is out there. I have never talked to a rider who has told me that they thought that the Tech 7 was not a super comfortable boot. So if that's gonna be really important to you, being able to wear these all day long, the Tech 7 is not gonna give you any issues there. It's got a nice wide toe box, so for riders that have wider feet, it will accommodate those well. And the length on these is also gonna be true to size. Now, when we talk about the SG-12, the SG-12 also is a very comfortable boot. However, I'm gonna give the edge to the Tech 7, and here's why. When you put the SG-12 on, again, you've got a nice wide toe box here, so for wider feet, these are great. The length is gonna be true to size as well. There's really good memory foam around the ankle area. That's one thing I really like about the SG-12. However, here's my one nitpick with these. The toe box area, and this is gonna come in and be a factor when we talk about protection, but they use a very hard plastic in the toe box. And here's what I've experienced along with some other riders here at Rocky Mountain, is that because that hard plastic is so hard, when I wear these for a long period of time, my big toe kind of starts to get rubbed a little bit raw on the inside there. That's me personally. There could be other riders who have not experienced that. Again, this is what I've experienced wearing these. So they're both very comfortable, but I am gonna give the slight edge to the Tech 7. Now, if we talk about fit up at the calf area, this is a very common question that I get. Which one is gonna have the larger calf opening? It's gonna be the SG-12. The Tech 7's not bad, but if you compare this even to the Tech 10 in the lineup, the Tech 10 does have a larger calf opening than the Tech 7. So if you do have really big calves and you wear a knee brace or a knee guard, then that is definitely something that you'd want to consider, looking at the Tech 7. With the SG-12, however, this is one aspect that I really like about these. The calf opening on these is really big. I have just over 16-inch calf diameter. I wear a knee brace. No issues getting the SG-12 to overlap and buckle these down. And even if I wanted to go even bigger, you can see you've actually got these 3 screws right here on the inside of that shin plate. You can actually take those off, move the shin plate over to make it even larger. So if you're really worried about calf opening and you want the biggest one that is out there, SG-12 is gonna be the best option for you. All right, next categories are construction, and then we'll talk about break-in period. So we'll start with the SG-12 this time. So the SG-12, like I mentioned earlier, these guys really pride themselves on the construction and the durability of their boots. Like I said, they're made out of their factories right out of Italy. So the SG-12 is going to be mostly leather construction. And then over top of that, you can see with these, you've got a lot of hard plastic. And when you look at these side by side, you can see easily that the SG-12 does have a lot more hard plastic. So in my opinion, the SG-12 is gonna be better as far as impact protection because you have all that extra plastic. Also, when you look at the toe box on the SG-12, I mentioned this earlier, so I've got both my thumbs and I'm pressing down. I'm pressing down hard right now. You can see that there's not a lot of give in that toe box. If I do the same thing on the Tech 7, you can see it's pretty dang squishy. So that's why I do like the impact protection of the SG-12. Now, when you look at the Tech 7, you've got microfiber as the main material. Microfiber is a synthetic leather. What's good about microfiber is that it's got good durability, but it's also lightweight. And you can see also on the Tech 7, you do have some leather here on the top of the toe box. Now, here's one big difference I want to point out because of the construction is the weight difference. This is one thing that I would definitely consider. With the Tech 7 in a size 9, you're at 3 pounds 12 ounces. And the SG-12 in a size 9, you're at 4 pounds 8 ounces. So there's a 12-ounce difference per boot between these two. And if you want to know, is that something that you can feel or notice? Yes, it is. When I put these both on at the same time, you will feel and notice the extra weight of the SG-12. And over a long period of time, over a full day of riding, you know, those extra 12 ounces really start to add up. So that's one gripe that I have with the SG-12. I wish they would make this a little bit lighter. However, I talked to the people at Gaerne and I brought that up. I said, hey, how come you guys don't lighten up this boot? And they said to do that, we would have to get rid of some of the construction aspects that make this such a great durable boot. And we just don't want to do that because we want the investment for the consumer to last. So anyway, just one thing to consider there. Now, as far as the break-in time, the Tech 7 is going to take the cake on this. The Tech 7, it's still a stiff boot. Both these are out of the box, but the Tech 7 is going to break in just a little bit faster. You can see in the front here that you do have these accordion stretch panels. You've also got those here on the back as well. You do have their hinge system on the Tech 7, which is nice even for a mid-level boot. So this boot will get good flexibility. Now with the SG-12, this is a really stiff boot right out of the box. Being that it is all leather construction, that leather just takes a little bit more time to break in. You just got to be patient with these. But over time, the more that you ride in them, the more they're going to break in and you get that flex that you're going to be looking for. But just know that out of the box, these are stiff. You got to be patient because they take a little bit of time to break in. Now, one other thing I do want to mention that kind of goes back to fit a little bit is the heel float. And heel float, if you've never really heard that term before, I use it a lot in my videos. What it means is that when you're wearing a boot, and you're flat on the ground, if you start to walk or you're riding and you feel like your heel's kind of lifting up off the footbed, like there's a little bit of slop in there, that's what I call heel float. To me, it's kind of a pet peeve. The SG-12 does a really good job of kind of sucking the ankle in and holding it in place, and I credit a lot of that to just the fit of the ankle area, but also that memory foam that's in there. The Tech 7, not so good in this category. That's one gripe that I have about this, is that when I put it on, no matter how tight I get those buckles, I still feel like there's a little bit of slop around the ankle area. Now, not too long ago, Alpinestars did try to improve that heel float. They actually added a suede patch down at the bottom to help give a little more grip, but it's still not as good as the SG-12, so just something to keep in mind. But that is construction and the break-in period for both of these. All right, next category is protection. You gotta remember that no matter what boot you are buying, you wanna have confidence that it's gonna protect you as a rider. That's what you're investing in here. So let's talk about it. So first up is the Tech 7. So what I like about the Tech 7 is that being a mid-level boot, if you want to call it that, you know, being sub $400, you still get really good support and protection for the foot and for the ankle. If you look at the back here, they have what they call their flex blade system. This is actually a safety feature that they took from the Tech 10, their flagship model, and they put it into this one. So the flex blade's kind of a tongue and groove system here, and this will help with your hyperextension and your hyperflexion. So it's there to help limit those. And then also you notice too, is that on the lateral side, they have their biomechanical hinge system here. So you've got that on the lateral side, and then you do have a pivot point here on the medial side as well. This does two things. One, it helps with the flexibility. I also like that because as this boot starts to break in and it gets more flex, you're not gonna see bulging around the ankle area, but also it helps give good lateral support for the rider's ankle. So you're getting great support and protection there. Now as we move on and we talk about the SG-12, I already talked about it earlier. The SG-12 has a lot more hard plastic, so as far as just impact protection goes, the the SG-12 I think is going to be better. I already showed you how the toe box is a lot harder on the top, but what I really like about the SG-12 is their dual pivot glide plate hinge system. So here's what you're looking at here. You've got this pivot point on the inside and the outside, but what I like about this is that it doesn't just pivot at one single point, instead it actually glides back and forth. And you can actually see that working when I flex this. And the purpose behind that system, they call it the Razorback strut system, is that it just allows the rider's ankle to stay in its natural location. So it's a really good system that works really well. When you look at the back, you can also see that you have kind of this wishbone piece, and it comes up into the back here, and that's actually a hyperextension stop, because when I flex this, it does actually lock out when it hyperflexes. So watch. Gets to there, and then it stops. So overall, I really like the system that Gaerne is using on these. Now, as far as the lateral stiffness goes, yes, the SG-12 is going to be stiffer side to side. So ultimately, I feel like the SG-12 does offer better impact and support for the rider's ankle, but I would also expect that, being that this is a premium level option from Gaerne versus the Tech 7, which is a mid-level boot, so that is expected, but that's going to be the protection for both of these. All right, next category that we want to cover is just feel on the bike. And what I'm talking about here is how does it feel on the foot pegs when it comes to braking and shifting, and also grip on the inside. For me, I like to have a lot of grip. I like to feel planted to the motorcycle. So you can see here though, pretty big difference. With the Tech 7, they use this honeycomb design on the lower part as well as the upper to help give some added grip on the inside. Now I do want to point out that on the lower part here, this honeycomb design is actually just built into that hard plastic. So it's not going to be as grippy as this black rubber insert that you have up here on the top. This is actually quite a bit grippier. Now, like I said, I've ridden in both of these. I feel like the Tech 7 does a good job of gripping the bike. But when you look at the SG-12, pretty big difference here, because on the SG-12, you have this rubber material that goes from the bottom all the way up to the top, and this is a very grippy rubber material. I'm gonna say it does offer a little bit more grip, or it feels grippier than this black insert on the Tech 7. So as far as just gripping the bike and feel, I do like the SG-12 a little bit more in that category. Now, as we talk about soles, with the Tech 7, you have a one-piece dual compound foot shell, and what I really like about this boot is the peg feel. In other words, when I'm on the balls of my feet and I'm riding, I can really feel what's going on underneath my feet. I get a lot of feedback when it comes to feeling the brake pedal or getting that shift lever, getting my foot underneath that, getting that upshift. No issues with the Tech 7. That's one aspect that I really liked about that. It gives a nice planted feel on the motorcycle. Both these have a steel shank, so you're gonna have good protection as far as your impacts go. Now with the SG-12, this is one thing about this boot that really took me a while to get used to. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the first couple rides in this boot, I did not like it because they use a traditional stitched on sole, again, steel shank. The sole in the SG-12 is very rigid. And to give you kind of a good example here, when I take this Tech 7, you can actually see you've got a little bit of give there in the toe box area. So again, that's just gonna help with the flex, and I think it helps with that foot peg feel. With the SG-12, these things do not flex. It's just a very stiff sole. And what took me a while to get used to was I don't get as much peg feel on these, so I can't feel exactly what's going on underneath my feet. So I'd find myself where I'd be accidentally hitting my brake pedal. It would be a little bit harder to get my foot underneath the shifter just because I couldn't really feel what was going on. So after a few rides though, I started to get that muscle memory, and after a while it was a non-issue for me. But at first, that was definitely something that I did notice. So if foot peg feel is really important to you and you really like to feel that planted feel, then the Tech 7 is gonna be the better option between these. But as far as the durability on the soles goes with both of these, they're both excellent. Both soles are gonna be replaceable. So that's not something that I would worry about as far as that goes. But if I had to give the best peg feel overall, I go to the Tech 7. All right, last category we're gonna cover is durability. Obviously, no matter what boot you're buying, it's an investment, so you want it to last. So the good news is that both of these are actually really durable boots. They both last a very long time. I know riders, including myself, that have had Tech 7s. I know some riders who have had a pair of the Tech 7s for 4 or 5 years, and they held up great. The buckles never broke, the soles lasted really well, they didn't rip or tear anything. So the durability on the Tech 7 is good, and the SG-12 is phenomenal. Now, I do want to point out that on the SG-12, you do have this steel toe cap on the end here. Now, this does, you could say, offer a little bit of impact protection, but the real reason behind this steel toe cap is when you do look at the sole of the SG-12, there actually is a couple different layers there and they're glued together. So that steel toe cap is if you're a rider where you're planting your feet a lot, maybe you're doing some enduro riding or you're a racer, you're packing in your gait, that's actually there to help protect and prevent that sole from delaminating. So I do see a lot of riders who will take that steel toe cap off. I would say to leave it on there because it does serve a purpose. Now, if we talk about buckles, this is a big durability factor. We'll start with the Tech 7 here. So what's cool is that they use the same buckles on the 7 as they do on the Tech 10. It's a great buckle design. They're replaceable. They work well. So the way these work is really simple. You pop it up. You take your strap, poke it right through there, self-aligning, snap it down into place. So the buckles on these work really, really well. I have noticed though from time to time, because like I said, I've used these and the Tech 10s, is that occasionally, if you're not washing your boots too often and you get some dirt and some gunk built up inside these buckles, you can have a hard time trying to snap those down. So what I recommend is just make sure, clean your boots. You don't have to do it every ride, but every few rides, it's not a bad idea to spray these off. And if you are having a hard time snapping that buckle down, just, spray some water down there at the base, any lubrication you have, and that'll really help out. Now, as far as the the SG-12 goes, the buckle design on these has been around for a very long time. And you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And honestly, I'm gonna say it right now, this is, in my opinion, the best buckle design of any premium boot that is out there. Because the way these work is really simple. You take your strap, drop it right over the top of the buckle, snap it down. So these are also replaceable. I've never had a buckle on the SG-12 not work well. And that's why I love it so much. Easy to use, doesn't matter how dirty they get, how much gunk is built up inside there, they always work the same. They always just snap right down. That is hard to beat. So that's why I love this buckle design so much. But as far as breaking the buckles, they're both super durable. I've never broken a buckle on either boot. I don't know any riders who have broken buckles on these either. Now, as far as just a long-term durability, this is a big question I get. Like I said, the Tech 7 is really good. However, I've got to give the edge to the SG-12 just because this boot does have a reputation, and I can stand behind this, of just having incredible durability. Because you're getting all that leather, like I said, it does add some weight to the boot, but it adds to the longevity. So if you're looking for one boot, or if I had to say, if there was one boot that you would have to get that's gonna last you the longest, I'm probably gonna go with the SG-12 in that category. But overall, both really rock solid as far as the construction goes. The durability on these is both excellent. All right, so there you have it. That is my versus of the Tech 7 from Alpinestars and the SG-12 from Gaerne. Now, as a little recap, if you're having a hard time deciding, let me point a few things out. With the Tech 7, it's a lot more lightweight, which I really like. And if you like peg feel and a super comfortable boot right out of the box, Tech 7 is gonna be the best route to go. But as far as the SG-12 goes, if you're looking for just overall more protection for both support for the ankle as well as impacts and long-term durability, the SG-12 is really hard to beat. Now, if you were to ask me and say, Chase, which one would you take right now if you had to choose between these two? I'm gonna go SG-12. Not because I don't like the Tech 7, but I just like the protection and the amount of support that I get out of these, and of course that long-term durability. But I'm sure a lot of you out there who would disagree and probably go with the Tech 7. So that's why, if you have one of these, or if you've owned one in the past, I wanna hear your feedback. I wanna know which one would you choose, what do you like, what do you dislike about the pair that you've had that's gonna help other riders out. And if you're still having a hard time deciding what to go with between these, or if there may be some other boots that are on your radar, watch our other versus video, get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel, stay up to date. And to pick a boot up today, real simple. Click on the link or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. All orders over $75 ship free. We even have our premium boot buyers guide. So if you want to see all the premium offerings that we have at Rocky Mountain, give that a watch. I am Chase. We'll see you on the trails.